Hi everybody, this is Crystal coming to you from my Purified by Grace YouTube channel, and I'm coming to you today because I want to elaborate a little bit more on what I was speaking on my last video. Also, it's in conjunction with videos that I've made, one that was called the Clarion Call to Black Women, which I made back in 2024, and another video that I created that was also to encourage the African diaspora. I'm coming to you today because these topics, also those past videos that I made, this is something that I really want to hone in on at this time, because I know right now we're in the midst of, these DEI policy rollbacks within different organizations, and it actually affects all of us. But I'm specifically speaking to the Black community, and more so speaking to Black women on this particular video. The last time that I made the video, which was the elephant in the room, speaking directly to the Black community, I mentioned where there are people in the community who despise DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, within our own Black community. And I did break down what I meant by that. Today I am wanting to add more to that, and like I said, specifically speaking to Black women. Right now we're in the midst of fasting from Target, and of course some other organizations that have rolled back some DEI policies. So right now, in my thoughts, it came to me that we as Black women should also fast from beauty products. And the beauty products that I'm speaking of would be wigs, weaves, makeup, lipstick, false nails, and false eyelashes. And I'm saying this because I really feel that we need to have a reckoning with ourselves, a reckoning in regards to how internalized oppression, which I've mentioned previously in my previous video, we've internalized oppression so much that our people have imitated the group that has oppressed us and that keeps oppressing us. So basically, I'm wanting to put a challenge out there, at least a 40-day challenge, a 40-day fast of us freeing ourselves, detoxing ourselves from wigs, weaves, makeup, lipstick, false nails, and false eyelashes, which, as you already see, I don't wear those things. I mean, I have before, and that was until I started embracing myself and accepting myself in my authentic, natural state. I've seen so oftentimes, and it's sad, I've seen women weaponize wearing weaves and all of these superficial things it would be either to keep from feeling inferior when they go to the workplace and when they deal with people other than themselves on the outside, or else it has become like a feeling of superiority over someone who doesn't wear those things. And those are both false. False inferiority complex, as well as a false superiority complex. Because God made us who we are. He made us how He wanted us to be. And of course, we have our choices. We have our freedoms. But I'm specifically wanting to challenge Black women to live in their most authentic life. And that's from, of course, the inside out. But today I'm speaking of the superficial aspect of it because, like I said, I have witnessed all these different beauty products being used as a weapon towards other women. And it is really unhealthy, very unhealthy. Another point that I want to make is we've started out using the pressing comb, the hot comb. From a long time ago, the hot comb was put out. I believe that hot comb was put out by Madam C.J. Walker. And of course, that hot comb was used when we had to sit at the stove and our mothers or our grandmothers had pressed our hair until our hair became in a straight form. Of course, taking it out of its natural state. And of course, we also were in the phase where perms and relaxers were also a phase that we have actually gone through. And that was basically where we had chemicals being put in our bodies. Speaking on that, there's actually have been lawsuits where women have been developing ovarian cancer because of those hair relaxers, those chemicals that we've been putting in our bodies. So basically, I'm just wanting our women to accept themselves for who they are, for us to embrace ourselves. Not constantly reject ourselves just to make somebody else feel comfortable. Now, I've heard people say that they're being their authentic self, but yet though they're not fully being their authentic self on the outside. Maybe internally, but not from the outside appearance. Because I feel like if we're going to be our authentic selves, then we should be our authentic selves through and through. I understand that also when we've been on jobs, people have had to code switch. And I'm going to mention what code switching is. I won't stay on that too long, but I'm going to mention what code switching is. Give me one moment. Okay, code switching can be in different, it can happen in different ways. And code switching I'm seeing on Britannica.com. Code switching is a process of shifting from one linguistic code, a language or dialect, to another, depending on the social context or conversational setting. So I've seen code switching, of course, where, of course, like I was just stating, where people, it's like they're not being their most authentic self when they come to when they're in certain situations. And code switching can be where a person communicates differently from the way they normally or they naturally communicate, basically to appease to the group that they are in front of or that they are around. And of course, even when it comes to changing the looks, in order to feel like the person can get a professional opportunity, or to even just really just to be accepted. And this is where I see it, where I can see it to where when people continuously code switch, it's like they lose pieces of themselves each time they do this. Each time we do this, we lose ourselves. And we're not being who God created us to be. I'm not saying being the worst version of yourself. No. I'm saying being the best version of yourself. But accepting yourself fully, no matter who's in the room. No matter who's in the room. Code switching also happens when it's basically like a people pleasing type of behavior, and also constant comparison comes into play with that. Y'all, it's really time out for us having to appease everybody else, us having to make everybody else comfortable. And we lose ourselves in return. I mean, we're already in a fight. We're already in a fight, continual fight for freedom. And as we keep hearing the term DEI, of course, this one is, like I said before, DEI is such a broad topic. Diversity is a broad topic. But we have to be able to learn and accept, embrace, and affirm ourselves. It's so important because we don't need to lose ourselves. We've lost ourselves a lot because of slavery and things that happened to our community within Jim Crow and things that's happening to us now. Y'all, this is so important. And I'm going to speak more on internalized oppression. I will go farther in depth with what internalized oppression is, because I know you've heard me speak that term. But again, like I said, Black women, we need to embrace ourselves. We need to, first of all, accept ourselves, embrace ourselves, and we need to affirm ourselves, because we have been beat down so much in this world, in this life. I mean, we've experienced sexism. I mean, we experience sexism within the women, within the gender of being a woman, amongst each other. We've experienced it, of course, men versus women, women versus men. And it shouldn't be. It just shouldn't be. So again, I challenge whoever's willing to go on this journey to fast from beauty supplies, these beauty products. And the ones I'm speaking of, again, would be wigs, weaves, makeup, lipstick, false nails, and false eyelashes. Because those products have really, I've seen, do damage in the community. Weaponizing these things. When people put them on, they weaponize against the next woman who's not wearing it. And it's such a sad reality. Women, I even encourage you to, if you haven't seen the movie For Colored Girls, I believe Janet Jackson, she's one of the stars in the movie. Y'all, we need to reckon with ourselves. We really do. We need to come to grips with things that's affecting us on a continual basis. Women, you are beautiful just how God created you, even with scars. And there's a song that comes to mind. It's called Scars. I believe her name is Alicia. I don't remember her last name, but her name is Alicia, and it's called Scars. Black women, you are beautiful just the way you are. Embrace yourselves fully, to the fullest. I'll come to you again when I have more to speak on. But as of right now, this is what I want to leave with you. Take care, and I'll see you soon.